Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Okay. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this message. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Monday, August 4th, and believe it or not, it's flannel weather in the Seattle area. My gosh, yes, where has summer gone? We're barely hitting 70 degrees. Let's go ahead and hope we got a little bit of Indian summer coming in the end of this. On that note, let me go ahead and welcome in our audience. We've got a great chat. Remember, the chat is where it's at. Go ahead and say hello, and I will go ahead and call you out at the start of the show. Who do we have out there? We've got Amiga Rules and April R. Coleman is there, along with Azrael Aries. Moving on to C, we got Kathy Spire, Craig, and Destiny Rocks. Dragon Rider FPV is here, along with Eli McGinnis. Good to see you, Eli. Keep it poor, my friend. Eliza Teal's here, and Eversour's around, along with Firestarter, Firefly, Geldarine Durazio, Health and Business, JB Jake, not from State Farm. We got Jared Rosenthal and Jay Cat, Kathy, and Kelly Broden, those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, my dear lady. We got Lynn 60 here. Mr. Grimlock is in the chat, along with Mr. Catfish 2100. Yerp. I thought you were a mod. I need to fix that. Who else do we have there? We have Mr. Joey B, Niles Guy, PC Anderson's in the chat. Who else is out there? Mr. Grimlock. We got Rainstorm Hunter, PC Anderson again. Roni Deal, Richard Barham, Rodney Cox, Sajai Bruja. Let's leave it at that. Sales talk, yeah, they do, as long as you're trained. Sam's here along with Shelley Montgomery, Surreal here, the super unknown, the Coin 405, two midgets on a horse all the way from Idaho. Good to see you, my friends. We got Vern Dude, William Underwood, and Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. How about that? All ready for another episode of Disclosure Tonight. My gosh, what a show we've got for you, Mike, my friend. You fix your name. How the hell are you?
Doing well. We're going to have a fun Monday night show, and I think we have a lot of things to talk about. This will be good.
I hope so. There's been things. There's been things happening. It seems like we're in the kind of the time of the year, Mike, where we're getting a lot of pick-me-up, a lot of little bits and pieces of disclosure coming around, but nothing major to bite our teeth into.
Yeah, it seems. Well, look, we talked about this on previous shows. It's very dead right now. It's we're in the middle of the summer. People are on vacation. They're dealing with traveling. They're not sitting home behind their computer listening to the show. So it's to be expected.
Well, I don't think it's our audience that's being quiet, because our audience has been pretty stellar lately. This is the people who are the newsmakers talking to Senate and the House of Representatives. The people who can actually move disclosure forward have been quiet. So have the whistleblowers. Why have the whistleblowers been quiet, Mike? Because the House of Representatives and the Senate, despite the information that is brought forward, nothing happens. So what's the benefit of whistleblowers coming forward beyond pushing for some politicians to get some votes?
Well, it's not just that Congress isn't moving on any of the information. It's also the fact that if the whistleblowers were to come forward, they have no protection on the books to make sure that they wouldn't suffer consequences for them and their families.
Yeah.
And so it's a shit show in Congress. There isn't a smooth environment provided for whistleblowers with firsthand knowledge to come forward. And it's a combination of things, none of it being good.
Yeah.
Which you and I have been calling out for a very long time now.
Yeah. Well, seems like a shit show to me, Mike, if you ask me.
No, it absolutely is. That's been the problem for a long time now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
And it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon.
We wish it would, but it currently doesn't look as good as it could be for this point. So you know what? We're left of our top story tonight, Mike, to go ahead and talk about what are we getting into. Let me bring it up for the audience. I'm sure you've seen a title card out there. Where is that part? Here we go. Move this down a little bit. AARO Documents Revealed. Yes, my friends, we're talking about the documents that were put forward for David Grusch that probably kept him out of speaking with AARO, as well as the documents that were put forward.
Complaining about what was going on with AARO.
Yeah. So if we get into this, Mike, the Department, coming to us from John Greenwald at the Black Vault, the Department of Defense, also known as the DoD, has released in full the exact text of the verbal legal advisement presented to whistleblowers like David Grusch during the all domain anomaly resolution office interviews. As we've said earlier, we're talking about interviews that went along with people like Mario Woods and also Robert Salas, who have been on the show and have talked about this specifically. This release under FOIA case 24-F-1138, filed by John Greenwald in April of 2024, answers questions raised in previous disclosures and sheds new light on how AARO sought to address concerns about security, legal liability, and non-disclosure agreements for witnesses providing classified UAP-related testimony, Mike. But if I remember, it's not just about hearing the information, it's about shutting them up potentially from talking about this in the future by re-upping their NDAs.
Right. And every time there was any type of witness coming forward to AARO, we covered it, and we had stated that we know that anybody that goes there is being shut up and shut down from speaking publicly. So, yeah. Now we have the instrument that they use to do that, which is going to be fun to go over. Oh, yeah.
And we've got some great docs to go through on this one in old Disclosure Tonight style, my friends. So in 2023 and 2024, AARO made numerous documented attempts to interview David Grusch, who happens to work for Representative Burleson now, regarding the claims of government involvement with and knowledge about extraterrestrial materials and reverse engineering programs. As detailed in prior FOIA releases, Grusch repeatedly raised questions about whether AARO was legally authorized to receive highly classified information, including materials covered by NDAs and special access programs. Now, Mike, we've heard in the past that some of these NDAs included something they call the termination clause. You want to fill the audience in on what that means?
Yes. Under Title 18 of the Federal Code, if a witness were to violate an NDA, a national security oath, or violate national security in a public fashion, they can be prosecuted and put to death under the Espionage Act, which the last members that were prosecuted and put to death, I believe, were the Rosenbergs in the 1950s.
Yeah.
But that is something that they still use as an instrument till today to use to threaten and keep people from coming forward to testify. It's a legal tool that can ensure somebody being put to death.
Yeah, it seems like a legal loophole, but if anything, it's there to go ahead and, clamp people's mouths shut so they're not talking about anything. So if we get into it, AARO staff responded by providing memorandums from both the Department of Defense and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence explicitly affirming AARO's legal authority to receive all levels of UAP information, notwithstanding any non-disclosure agreements that have been signed. Now, despite Grusch's continued efforts to seek written and verbal assurances and requested further documentation about the policies for handling such information, specifically questioning the limits of AARO's authority and the protections for those disclosing sensitive material. So, Mike, as you just said, hitting it out of the park, David Grusch was more concerned about what's going to happen if he talks about this stuff to AARO, and I could understand where he's coming from.
Well, yeah, and plus at the time, he was being represented by Chuck McCullough, who's the former Intelligence Community Inspector General. And he advised David Grusch that even though Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick was claiming to have all of the authorizations to hear David Grusch's testimony, in fact, there were legal loopholes that could not be violated because the information that David Grusch had testified about, and AARO wanted him to come and speak about directly, had to do with not just SAPs that are involved in UAP reverse engineering and crash retrievals, but the way that the Pentagon has kept these hidden for so long is they are nested in prosaic special access programs. Now, the problem, according to Chuck McCullough, was that AARO has the authority to listen about classified programs.
Hold on,
involving
we're
UAP.
getting concerns from the audience that we've got buffering going on. Let me take a look at what's going on that could be causing it. I'm not seeing anything that could be causing buffering coming on from YouTube. I could turn that down. I could turn that to automatic. Let's see if this changes anything. Sorry if it's going on. If there is buffering going on, my friends, it's not caused by us because we haven't changed any of our settings. Eh, Mike?
That's true. It's coming from the YouTube servers. Has
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah. So I've made a
That may
couple
be going on with
little
YouTube.
adjustments there. Hopefully this takes care of it. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So
So
what I was explaining to the audience was that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick and Adam do not have legal authorization to hear any information about prosaic special access programs. And if David Grusch had come forward and testified and explained that these UAP special access programs are nested in prosaic SAPs and divulged that information, he could be directly in violation of Title 18. So Chuck McCullough told him, you can't speak freely or openly to them.
nope.
And he didn't. This is the main reason why.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, if you can, switch your networks. If you're on Wi-Fi, switch across to cellular because you're breaking up as well.
Okay.
Either that or we got solar activity coming in, Mike, which I don't think that's the case.
No, I don't think that's the case either.
Let me jump into this
seem
if
to
we
be any
can.
better right now.
So the
Is
advisements,
this any
right?
better?
So Mike, they've got advisements that they read aloud to the witnesses and had them sign on documents, right? That almost sounds like they're reading people their Miranda rights. That seems odd.
Well, when you give Miranda rights when someone is going to be placed under arrest, that's just a notification of the rights that they're entitled to and already have. But this is a legal contract.
Yep.
So I would have an attorney present before I would sign anything to them. That's just me.
Absolutely. The kind of things they're talking about is voluntary participation, where witnesses are asked to confirm the participation is voluntary, talking about the Privacy Act and ownership, saying the interview conducted primarily to collect historical information with the understanding that transcripts and materials are belonging to the U.S. government and may be shared with Congress and subject to the Privacy Act, and also the legal status of disclosures. Critically, the advisements that states, do you understand, for that limited purposes, this oral history is only during the course of this discussion. If I can, Mike, I like to go ahead and bring up this verbal advisement for our audience to go ahead and understand in greater detail.
Right.
So let's get...
Right now, it sounds like they're trying to absolve themselves for any potential litigation that would require compensation for traveling or time, and they want you to sign this agreement stating it's purely voluntary. You come on your own volition, and you're not obligated to do this. If you do, we don't owe you anything.
Yeah, and they
That's
even
what it sounds like to me.
spell out potential consequences for false statements. So let's get into it, shall we?
Oh, please do.
Good afternoon. Today's date is blank, and I am blank from the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. Before we begin today, today's discussion. I want to go over a few matters so that the parameters of this discussion are clear. One, do you agree that you are voluntarily participating in this oral history? Man, this sounds like Miranda rights.
Yeah.
Two,
it does.
do you understand that you may choose not to answer specific questions and that you may end this interview at any time? Three, do you understand the primary purpose of this oral history effort is not to collect information about you, but to the extent that the information about you is collected and maintained by the Department of Defense during this effort, it may be subject to the safeguards and requirements of the Privacy Act of 1974, which they don't go into the details on. But let's see what they say here. The principal purpose of this oral history interview is to record your knowledge of historical information that focuses on persons, events, and topics of historical interest to the Department of Defense and the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. Now, such historical information may be used as source material for official memorandums or other historical works. But let's be honest, Mike, the information that's brought forward has done nothing but to allow AARO to try and debunk the claims that have been made. Not once have we heard claims that have been made in historical reference, which AARO has actually believed, or more importantly, not tried to debunk with bullshit text.
That's true. We know anytime that they released like the first historical report, and we're still waiting to get the second one, should be the end of this year, they've only dismissed any of the public information that we've already heard about some of these witnesses. They try to dismiss it, like you said.
Yeah, let's just say if it's due the end of this year, we'll be lucky to see it next year at best chance.
Yeah, that's true too. They're always late.
Oh, yeah. Never on time. Well, just like us, but we understand. Information about you collected during this interview may be shared as a routine use pursuant to DOD-0014, DOD Historical Records System of Records for 87 FR 5402 on September 1st, 2022, and as otherwise authorized pursuant to the Privacy Act of 5 U.S.C. 55-2A, Section B. Now, do you understand, next question, that these transcripts and any materials resulting from this oral history will belong to the United States government to be used in any manner consistent with federal law deemed in the best interests of the Department of Defense as determined by the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security? So they're saying, Mike, you can go ahead and use this information however they want, including to go after the whistleblower themselves. That just seems a little too broad, if you ask me.
So it's a little shady, but they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our next one, 5. Do you understand that the notes or transcripts from this oral history or any other materials and the information derived from them may be made available to the U.S. Congress? Well, that's a good thing. I don't think getting this information to Congress is a bad thing. If not, there's a lot of stuff that's came into AARO that we've heard, Mike, that's never made it to Congress. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. Kirkpatrick was criticized for doing that for a long period of time. There's no explanation for the public.
Oh, yeah.
That seems to be how they operated.
Yeah, it does. Now, next, do you understand that for the limited purpose of this oral history and only during the course of our discussion in the secure compartmentalized information facility, that the information you disclose is not subject to any non-disclosure agreement you have signed, saying, hey, whatever you talk to us about here, your NDAs don't apply. And this is the one where David Grusch had been concerned time and time again that he's disclosing information to AARO that they truly don't have they shouldn't have access to because the level of security that goes along with it coming out of the executive branch.
Right. And he was advised, again, by Chuck McCullough, who would know as the former ICIG, what he can and cannot say to AARO.
Yeah. It's a mess. So you were advised that upon completion of this interview today, that all non-disclosure agreements remain in full force. Next, number 7. Do you understand that acknowledging and willful false statements during this interview can be punished by fine or imprisonment or both under 18 USC 1001? So if they lie on here, knowingly lie, they could be fined or sent to prison. But you know what, Mike? How many people have we seen that have actually given false testimony to Congress? How many people have actually even been hauled in? None.
0.
Yeah.
Right.
Although that may change in the near future, right now it's none.
Correct.
And last, number 8, do you understand that intentionally withholding, misrepresenting, or falsifying information may have a negative effect on your security clearance, employment prospects, or job status, up to including denial or revocation of your security clearance, or your removal and disbarment from federal service? You know, I think this, Mike, is one of the statements that's made many a whistleblower not want to go ahead and talk with AARO because they don't trust them.
No. Not with the consequences that they're plainly spelling out.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody is gainfully employed by the government, and now by acknowledging that statement, by them giving any testimony, they could lose that job. I wouldn't talk if I was them. Would you?
Oh, hell no.
Right.
You're basically going and talking to the people, your captors, and giving them the information they would potentially want. It just seems like it's a mess.
Yeah, they're putting it in legal terms, but basically what they're telling anybody that comes forward is you like the gainful employment you have? It'd be a shame if something happened to it, wouldn't it? That's a bad warning.
Oh, yeah, Mike. Now, despite these written and verbal assurances, Grusch continued to seek additional documentation, expressing concern that simply citing the law and a DOD memo might not be sufficient protection, particularly given the complex patchwork of security policies and compartmentalized access, probably coming out of the executive branch, my friends, involved in such email, in that it's been involved. Now, in emails, Grusch pressed further for clarification and asked for memos from additional agencies, including the CIA, who is currently under the auspice of who?
The ODNI and the executive branch.
No, who's in charge of the CIA, my friend Mike?
Oh, right now, Radcliffe.
Yeah, John Ratcliffe, who used to be the ODNI, who have said some probably the most salacious statements about the United States government covering up the UFO truth.
Right. But this was from 2022, and he wasn't in office then. So this statement is not coming out of Radcliffe at the moment.
I gotcha, but right now, today, that's where we're at. So in emails, Grusch pressed further for clarification and asked for memos from additional agencies, including the CIA and DOE. Well, there you go, Mike, DOE again, to address special access programs and other access restrictions. So clearly there was a definitive line drawn in the sand by Grusch, not believing the rights that AARO had.
Well, that's because, again, Chuck McCullough had advised him that he could be in violation if he spoke openly about the knowledge that he gained during his 4-year investigation, talking to 40 witnesses. So
now, who is Chuck McCullough again?
He is the former Inspector General for the intelligence community.
Not
ICIG.
just the former, he's the first Inspector General for the ICIG. Right. Yeah.
Right. So he would know what Grusch can and cannot say to AARO or under oath. And we saw him there when Grusch was testifying July 26, 2023,
yeah.
The UAP hearing. He was right next to him.
Oh, yeah, he was.
So that's a good lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Now, although he's moved on from Grusch at this point in time, when he did go ahead and represent David Grusch, he actually walked away from his own legal firm that he founded to go ahead and represent David Grusch to make sure there were no conflicts.
Right. That's exactly what he did. He wanted to protect David Grusch because the information was determined by his former office to be credible and urgent, if you remember.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now,
Bold statement.
Yeah, now the release of this verbal legal agreement resolves a long-standing question about what witnesses like David Grusch were told before being asked to testify to AARO. The advisement confirms that, at least for the duration of the official interview, NDAs do not bar disclosure of UAP-related information to AARO, at least coming from their side. The law provides for specific statutory protection for such disclosures, and the DoD has now placed assurances in the public record, but still, it's coming from the DoD, Mike, but the whole cover-up isn't coming from the DoD. It's coming from the executive branch itself.
The White House.
Yes.
You've said many times on the show that it comes from the top down, meaning the President of the United States, the White House, that's covering this up.
And there's been stories that have come out this week in the last couple days from Liberation Times going ahead and reaffirming the first statement we made here on Disclosure tonight, that it's a White House cover-up. It's all controlled by the executive branch, and that's where the story seems to be going. We are on top of the subject, Mike, time and time again, where a lot of people eventually find their way to what we're talking about.
Yeah. When they dig deep enough and they look hard enough at what's been going on the whole time, they come up with the same conclusion that you and I have for years now. Because it's always been like that. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mike. Now, while the statutory protections granted by the DoD and AARO apply specifically to UAP-related information as defined by Section 1673 of the FY23 National Defense Authorization Act, the verbal legal advisement and supporting policy memoranda make it clear that witnesses can disclose any information directly related to UAP during official interviews, and that such discussions are not subject to any non-disclosure agreements for the duration of the interview. Both the DoD and ODNI memoranda affirm that these protections apply when disclosures are made in a secure setting and in the context of AARO's authorized mission. But it still sounds like, Mike, I got to bring it up, we've heard of a lot of whistleblowers wanting to come forward, but they don't trust AARO. Why is that?
Because any of the whistleblowers who have already come forward have complained of the mishandling that went on and how they had to sign new NDAs to shut the fuck up on what it is that they knew, and they didn't feel comfortable in doing that for good reason. Yeah.
Now, given these protections, witnesses, of course, are fully authorized to provide testimony and be interviewed on all UAP-related information without the fear of breaching non-disclosure agreements. But it just, even though that's what they're saying the law is, Mike, it seems that a lot of people don't believe that, because any information outside of the statutory definition could be omitted. But the law and the DoD's own procedure makes it clear that witnesses like David Grusch could have participated, disclosed all UAP-related knowledge, and simply declined to answer or end the interview if questions were made beyond these bounds. There may be no ambiguity about the legal cover provided for the UAP-related disclosures within the formal process, but still, even these protections in place, Mike, I get it why whistleblowers haven't trusted AARO, because if you look at what has come forward from the whistleblowers actually making statements, all it's been is denial from AARO, and that's not what whistleblowers want to hear.
No, they don't. And we also talked about how a lot of the whistleblowers that they want to come forward, if they have the hearing in September for the Secrets Task Force and under the House Oversight Committee, they don't feel that any information provided is going anywhere or accomplishing anything. And they're exposing themselves to great legal harm and losing whatever benefits they are currently receiving from the government if they were to step forward.
Two things.
So they're right. They're not wrong.
Oh, I got
That's
that,
why
my
nobody wants to
friend.
do it.
Now going in and talking about whistleblowers, talking about Congress and everything, we've got a statement here that was made by Senator Marco Rubio some time ago, I think on January 21st, 2025, where he's talking about individuals with high clearances and high positions in our government have firsthand knowledge about the UFO retrieving and retrieval and engineering programs. Let's listen to Marco Rubio, who is in a phenomenal position to go ahead and leverage his ability on an international stage to bring UFO disclosure forward. Let's listen to this minute 40 clip that came from Fox News at this time. Here we go.
One of two things is happening here. Either they're telling the truth, and that is something that obviously would be the biggest story in human history, or we have people in really important positions of government who are crazy and who are out there making up stories and who are still in positions of importance. People who we entrusted to do some really important things for our country are saying some pretty incredible things that I think we have an obligation to take seriously and listen to. All I've said is we have people that have very high clearances, both today and in the past, who did really important work for our government or continue to do important work for the government, who have come forward with some claims about the U.S. having in the past recovered exotic materials and then reverse engineered those materials to make advances in our own defenses and technologies. I will say I find most of these people at some point, or maybe even currently, have held very high clearances and high positions within our government. So you do ask yourself, like, what incentive would so many people with that kind of qualification, these are serious people, have to come forward and make something up?
People who have had firsthand knowledge, who claim to have firsthand knowledge of seeing this type of thing?
Or have firsthand knowledge or firsthand claims of certain things. Some are public figures, and you've heard from them in the past. Others, have not shared publicly. All of them have, in many cases, understandings of different elements of this firsthand. Some of these people still work in the government, and frankly, a lot of them are very fearful of their jobs, fearful of their clearances, fearful of their career, and some, frankly, are fearful of harm coming to them.
Yeah, Mike, that's true. People, like we're talking about before earlier, Mike, that a lot of people out there are concerned about the potential harm that can come to them. What do they call it? The termination clause? By breaking out the truth?
Yeah, that's right. And there aren't sufficient whistleblower protections on the law books yet that would give them enough cover to come in and do exactly that.
And when there have been chances to bring coverage like that forward, it's been shot down. Like there has been twice now. Tim Burchett in the last Congress and the current Congress has actually gone and has released. Yeah, he had a one-page Whistleblower Protection Act that he wanted to get out there, and it's been shot down twice.
Right. And I don't believe it's been resubmitted for a third time coming up.
Yeah.
Which is not a good sign.
No. It's one of those things we're going to have to look at, my friend. And yes, let's see if I can find the one here. I've got another story here with Jeremy Corbell saying that he is aware of investigations into the suspicious deaths of people who worked on programs who were supposed to testify.
Right. This is a good interview. You should play it for the audience, but then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so let's get to this clip coming from Jeremy Corbell. Moose, come back here. Let's go ahead and jump to this clip here really quick as I take care of Moose. Hold on, let me get to this one here. Where to go? Let's play Jeremy Corbell. All right, we got a minute and actually 46 seconds of it. Here we go.
I know that UFOs and the subject itself are treated above weapons of mass destruction. In fact, weapons of mass destruction departments will UAP-related investigation because they know these power sources are dangerous if in the wrong hands.
Right.
I know that people in government and people outside of government have had profound contact with what they believe are non-human intelligence. I know that this has been guarded as a secret to the point where there are suspicious deaths of people that worked on the programs who were supposed to testify. I know that is a fact.
Yeah.
And I know there's ongoing investigations into that. I know that UFOs and the subject itself are treated above weapons of mass destruction. In fact, weapons of mass destruction departments will often engage the UAP. They'll have a portfolio of UAP-related investigation because they know these power sources are dangerous if in the wrong hands.
Right.
I know that people in government and people outside of government have had profound contact with what they believe are non-human intelligence. I know that this has been guarded as a secret to the point where there...
Okay, hold on. I'm getting this buffering thing coming on from our audience again. So let me go ahead and just pause this for a second. I haven't really changed anything on the output from here. CBR, main, leave off, use B-frames. That should do anything. I can take my data bandwidth and drop it down by 3,000 kilobytes per second. Let me see if this helps. If not, this is just a YouTube thing. If you're having an issue with buffering or things going on, folks, try quitting your YouTube app, restarting again, getting back in here again. We're trying to go ahead. No buffering way down here. Yeah. So some people are hitting it. It seems to be a regional issue. So if that's the case, restart your YouTube app potentially, or rewind a little bit, and hopefully that should take care of it. A lot of people are saying, okay, we're fine. I just want to make sure everyone could be hearing us. Let me just rewind a little bit before I start on my soliloquy. All right. Yeah, it's all the audio. It's not just me. It's everything. Some people are getting it, some won't. So go ahead and just refresh your browser, restart your YouTube app, and hopefully that should take care of the problem. Here we go, folks.
Intelligence. I know that this has been guarded as a secret to the point where there are suspicious deaths of people that worked on the programs who were supposed to testify. I know that is a fact.
Yeah.
And I know there's ongoing investigations into that.
Hold on.
To testify. That is a fact.
I've got a sound clip for this one. Where in the hell is even that?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Mike, who in the hell is even that? And we can't get him on our show. My God, we got to try and get Jeremy Corbell on our show.
We do, and we're trying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's ongoing investigations into that. I know that UFOs and the subject itself are treated above weapons of mass destruction. In fact, weapons...
All right, so that's the end of Jeremy Corbell before I loop him one more time. Interesting conversation coming across from Jeremy on here, Mike. It just comes down to that he's aware of investigations into the suspicious depths of people. Now, this is something that Lou Elizondo's been bringing up for the longest time, and it's actually been in the lore of ufology going back in perpetuity.
It's true. It has been alleged for 80 years that people have been killed to keep this a secret. And David Grusch, under oath, when he testified, made the same declaration that he knows that people have been killed to keep this a secret. But what Corbell failed to do in this statement was provide any additional information as to who is investigating it, what are they looking into, and who are some of the people that have been actually killed. He left that information out. Now, for the audience, I can fill in some of those gaps. I can tell you that right now, officially, the government, the FBI, under the DOJ, has officially had a long-term UAP investigation that they are now been conducting for several months already. They have talked to key individuals that have come forward and testified under oath, and people who have spoken out publicly to find out if any crimes had been committed. And that includes if murders have been committed as well. Because I could let everybody know that if a murder was committed, it's a capital crime, and there is no statute of limitations on it, meaning doesn't matter how much time goes by, it never runs out. The clock doesn't stop ticking, and you can be prosecuted at it anytime they have enough evidence to make an arrest. So anybody that has gotten away with it so far, if they're still alive, if the FBI gets enough information and finds out who they are and what they did, they will be arrested and prosecuted. That I know for a fact.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting aspect of the statement that Jeremy Corbell just made.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things you look at, and it's just, we've heard it many times, and it's part of the echo chamber, but, you know, I think there's some validity to it, because I've heard the same thing coming from my former brother-in-law, AJ Aaron Heberlin, 15, 20 feet from where I'm at right now, where he talked about his encounter with the Tic Tacs off the USS Nimitz in November or so of 2024.
2004.
Yeah, sorry, 2024. Thank you. 2004, right over there, literally, and talked about the whole situation of went on. And, you know, he talked about the ability for them to go ahead and throw him in prison for life, to go ahead and take away his retirement, and even, you know, terminate him.
But these people who are out there that participated in this, they should be on their toes now, because it's not AARO looking into this. It's not Congress investigating this. It is the FBI. Yeah. And they take their job very seriously. Yeah. Well, so these people should leave the country if they're still here before they get a knock on their door.
It's hard if you're working for the Sun-Made Raisin Company down in Texas, but, you know, if you got a family, people are around. My ex-wife may be around there, so that's a good thing. You never know who's going to come knocking on the door and say, wow, you were a felon before you became a citizen. That's not legal. Get the hell out of this country.
Well, they would prosecute them before they would deport them. That's how it works.
Oh, yeah. Pull their citizenship too. On that note, we've got an interesting one coming in from the Astral over on X. Let me go ahead and bring this up here. Where are we at? All right, let's get into it. This is why UAP disclosure, Mike, is turning into a running joke. Whistleblowers chase notoriety on podcasts, but when it's time to testify under oath, they vanish. This is going to be an interesting conversation after we hear this coming from Eric Burleson. We know why, but let's wait. Let's play it, and then we'll dig in.
What's frustrating is that people that claim and will go on national news, many of them are not willing to come in and be under oath.
Why? Because of the public backlash?
I don't know why, but many of them are not willing to come in.
Wow. Mike, you know who this is pointing at specifically?
Who is that, Thomas?
Jake Barber, Skywatcher. Because we know that Matthew Brown in the past wanted to go ahead and testify, but he was as one of Jeremy Corbell's people that he brought forward, and Nancy Mace shut it down on advisement potentially from the somewhere in the executive branch.
Right. She jerked them around for a couple of months.
So let's take Matthew Brown, put him in the good box. Who's the other person who's come out to the news talking about stuff before this video clip was done? Mike Herrera, potentially excluded, because he says, oh God, he's out of this as well, right? So this would potentially go to really Jake Barber, because he's the only other big personality, right, who came out in the news circuit to talk about disclosure. We know David Grusch has been accessible everywhere. He's testified in the past, because let's pull him to the side. Lou Elizondo, he's been out there. He's testified. Who's the only person who's come out to the news that wasn't willing to come forward and testify? Jake Barber.
Yeah.
Now, they've got some, hate to say it, this is kind of like the mummy moment again. They've had some proof of some stuff, of some video that's been coming out lately that I have to look at. And I'm looking at it saying, okay, you've got something here. But then it also aligns with what we were taught by someone's name who rhymes with blue, about them being everywhere. It also drops into the situation that came from probably one of the best scientific papers we have gotten about UAP in the atmosphere being observed. And it wasn't Beatrice, no. It was the scientists coming out of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. And I think that is the gem in the rough, Mike, that everybody has been missing, everybody has forgotten about. But if you want to get into accurate scientific observations coming from the National Academy of Sciences, Astronomy Division in Ukraine, you know, we're talking top tier scientists here, Mike, who've been doing this their entire life. They're at the peak of their career, who are going and investigating this and bringing out the truth on it. That's the people we really need to hear from.
We do. But Barber made a statement that he doesn't know why these witnesses won't come forward. But we just talked about this earlier in the show. The reason why anyone who's testified to a SSCI, the Senate Subcommittee on Intelligence, or a House committee like the House Oversight Committee, they don't have sufficient protections on the law books yet to protect them. That's one reason.
Yeah.
Second reason is they don't know what good would come from it, because anytime that they do come forward and testify, Congress doesn't do anything. They don't follow the information. They don't bring it out publicly. What's the point? They're taking a huge risk by coming out, but what good would it accomplish? So far, we haven't seen anything. So there are reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't know why Burleson claimed, no, I don't know why. You should know why, if you've been paying attention.
Well, everybody pays attention, Mike, but not everybody sees it the way we do. So if you need to, explain to the audience.
That's
so,
true.
Really quickly getting into it. This is something, no, it's not a TR-3B. Fuck that shit. It's a large chevron-shaped craft. A V shape is a chevron shape, right, Mike?
Correct.
Flying in Los Angeles, heading eastward towards the corner, heading east. So west going east, same direction we see the UAP here in the Pacific Northwest. On Halloween of 10/31/24, not sure why we're just seeing this now, but this is actually a decent video of something, and there is something that's a recognizable shape in what we're seeing here as we're going through it. And you're seeing the different lights on it get bright or dark based on its movement through the smoggy atmosphere in the LA area. But you know, Mike, this one looks pretty good.
It does. But that still doesn't back up any of the claims that Jake Barber had
of course
made when
not.
they first came out.
Oh, hell no. They have had some good ones come out recently, but you know what? What was their claim? That at any time they can go ahead and do their psionic stuff, like from Dungeons and Dragons, go ahead and concentrate and have a UFO come and land for them at any time.
Right. Which they claimed that they were doing for the government for over 20 years.
And how many UFOs have they released videos of going ahead, concentrating and taking over the ship, as they called it, and forcing it to land in their area?
Zero.
We haven't seen anything yet, have we?
No, and not only that, but they stopped talking about it and making those claims.
Yeah.
They got quiet.
Yeah.
Now they're just looking at videos that they record and put out there in their
and some of the videos they've got are similar to this. And you know what? They're doing some good stuff potentially, but you know, it's, how do you call it? There's been an over-exaggeration of their claims potentially based on what we've seen from the information that's brought forward. And if anything, we want to see that repaired. If they can do it, and this is something that can go on, and they need to do it, well, you've had more than enough time. Bring out the truth. Unless, Mike, it's truly coming down to the good almighty dollar, and they want something for that information to bring it out. Remember, that's one thing that's been mentioned about Skywatcher in the past. They're funded by people who expect what? A return on the investment, ROI.
Yep. Why else would you invest a serious amount of money?
Yeah.
Unless you were expecting a return. It's not charity.
No, never.
Right.
Well, some people go ahead and invest whatever money into it because they want to know the truth. And the only person I know that's actually done that has been Bob Bigelow from Bigelow Aerospace, BAAS.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, if you check your XDM, I sent you a new article that came out, a new post, in the scientific aspect of the news that I think might be interesting. Not directly UAP related, but
I saw this one. This is where ex-CNN host Jim Acosta slammed for fake AI interview with Parkland victim Joaquin Oliver. So I'm not.
It was an AI interview. It wasn't a real interview with the actual person.
Yeah, I saw this, and as soon as I saw it, getting into it,
what your solution would?
Why? This is wild, Mike.
Joaquin,
It's no longer giving me video here.
I'd like to know what your solution.
They've turned off the video on this.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so when I saw this earlier today, even when you had shared the message on it, I saw the preview of it, but you start it, they have blurred out the background, and I don't know how the hell they did that. Actually, you know what? Never mind. There we go. Mac OS played a picture-in-picture. Let's play it. It's my being stupid here. Let's play this video, and let me put up the fair use. 2 layers on this point because I don't trust. Where is it at? Oh, I need this stuff. Fair use 2, top and bottom. All right, here we go.
Joaquin, I would like to know what your solution would be for gun violence.
Great question. I believe in a mix of stronger gun control laws, mental health support, and community engagement. We need to create safe spaces for conversations and connections, making sure everyone feels seen and heard. It's about building a culture of kindness and understanding. What do you think about that?
Oh my God.
That's pretty flagrant.
Now, what did they put up there and saying? His father, Joaquin's father, created this avatar to help give his son a voice again. So he passed away. He took a picture, got it talking, but it's someone else's words coming in, Mike. That just tells.
It's AI. It's AI, Thomas.
Well, it's using AI to recreate the voice to go along with the video and talking with it. Yeah, it's AI, but it's, in this point, it's completely scripted. Michael Sokoloff, what say you?
I was just going to say that looks like AI.
Yeah, of course.
You can tell by the way his eyebrow is moving.
It's AI, but it's words that were probably written or crafted at least by someone saying an intent. So this isn't AI going and responding the way the person's son would. This is someone saying, we want something to represent what I think my son would say to go with this event. It is what it is.
But it was on a mainstream news program that were portraying it to the audience who doesn't know any better.
Well,
like it's an actual interview, which is
Jim Acosta, remember him from all the White House briefings in the past? I'm not sure if he's on a news. This could be from his live stream or his show or whatever it is. But either way, it's
alarming.
Get used to it.
Oh, it's going to get worse as the technology improves. I mean, what's next? They're going to do a live interview with JFK. They can ask him who assassinated him. Yeah. So, what's next in our news? Good point, my friend. Let's get to it before we run out of time here. Where am I at? Where is that at for that one? Let's get to it. All right. So, Avi Loeb says the latest data shows no visible tail and no gas fingerprints around our newest interstellar object, and that's not what most have expected. So if you remember, Mike, they said based on the observations that will come around by August 5th, right? Yeah.
We're going to be able to determine whether 3I Atlas is a comet or not a comet. Now, today, although we have this from yesterday, supposedly the Hubble Space Telescope imaged it and they came back with a tail coming off the corona, because what we've got here is they're saying there's no corona coming off 3i Atlas yet. Hubble Space Telescope is starting to show the coma, which isn't anywhere. And I believe not tomorrow, but the next day, the James Webb Space Telescope is also going to be taking a deep look at Atlas to see what the heck is this thing. So we do have technology. We just needed to be a little bit patient for a period of time to find out if what Avi Loeb has been requesting is a possibility. But it's always good to ask, eh?
Oh, absolutely it is. I agree. So now the truth is starting to come out without having to divert the Juno probe and spend millions of dollars in something that we have a direct answer for.
Yeah. So at least James Webb Space Telescope is going to go ahead and actually try and find something for us. That's always a good thing.
It is. I agree.
Trying to look. Yeah, there's not a lot of things that have been going on. All right. Well. Mike?
Yes, sir.
You've heard that little audio clip before I paused it as I'm getting ready to bring on the screen. I got an interesting tweet here from Dr. Stephen Greer.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, what does DC Muscle Wolf have to say now?
You'll find this interesting. I'm sure our audience will as well. Move this over a little bit. All right. Close enough. Let's get this. All right. Dr. Stephen Greer. Find your unique way of making contact, Mike. Instruction on remote viewing, meditation, and more. The expansiveness of meditating in the same place and time with hundreds of others. God, he's making it sound like an orgy. Join our Contact and Consciousness Conference, September 19th through 21st in Scottsdale. Get a load of this, Mike. If you're under 25, half off. I saw that, and it's like, you got to be fun. Usually, don't they go ahead and give like discounts for seniors?
Yes.
I'm just giving you
they do.
So why would Stephen Greer want to go ahead and be giving away a discount for people 25 and younger? Half off.
He's looking for a date? Could be.
Yeah.
Trying to make it enticing. Yeah.
All right. Do you see why I thought this was an appropriate item for us to go ahead and talk about? I mean, it is from his account. Dr. Stephen Greer. That's him, my friends.
Oh,
again,
it is.
25 and half. 20, under 25. Half off. There we go.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh my gosh. You gotta have fun with my friends. That's what we're here for, Disclosure tonight. We try to find things in Disclosure, what's going on, and actually cover things, but also sometimes you just run into stuff, Mike, that you just can't turn your head away from.
Yeah, I know. It's like a car accident.
Yeah. Michael Sokoloff, go ahead.
So how much is half off?
Probably $2,500 would be my guess. Mike, how much do you think he'd cut? Maybe $4,000, maybe $2,000. I don't know. He's highfalutin in this area.
Yeah, he was charging $5,000 a seat to drop flares over the beach by the ocean. So half off would be about $2,500, Michael.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, I do have one more audio clip here I need to play. I'll probably get in trouble. You'll probably hate myself in the morning, but I'll do it anyway because our audience deserves it. This is coming from UAP James.
People come to me.
Back on May 23rd, 2025. He's in contact with an individual who claimed that the U.S. has discovered a new type of propulsion, and the Tic Tac UFO was Lockheed Martin.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, well, let's just not give any more. Oh my God. Hints on this one. Let's play it for audience and see where audience takes it. Oh, not that. Let me hide myself on this one. Better believe it. Here we go. Again, coming from UAP James over on X. New Representative Burleton is in contact with an individual who claims the U.S. has discovered a new type of propulsion, and the Tic Tac UFO is Lockheed Martin. So we didn't say it. We would never say it, but hey, let's have fun with it. Here we go.
Me that say that the Tic Tac is a Lockheed Martin creation. The latest person that came to me says he has video of the first, second, and third iteration of the Tic Tac, and he's going to show me. So I'm trying to set that up. The way he describes it is that they had a prototype.
Mike, I wonder if this is the kind of whistleblowers who won't come forward and testify in front of Congress.
I certainly hope so.
I think
that would be a good thing.
Yeah, let's hope so.
They've made changes to it. They've made it more advanced, and then now it's in iteration number 3, which I did see a photo of, and it looks like pretty advanced military like craft, like a plane, but it's clearly human made. It's nothing that I've ever seen.
Mike, I gotta ask the question. It just hurts my head too much to even think about this. I gotta bring it out. So a Tic Tac, right?
Yeah.
A Tic Tac that doesn't need lift.
Right.
It doesn't have standard propulsion. You don't need to have wings, right?
Right.
You don't need to have a tail, right? You don't even have to have a nose cone because the way you're moving with like anti-gravity, or like you're working in a warp bubble that's outside of what's going on around this planet.
Right.
Why the fuck would they make it look like a plane? It doesn't make sense. Why would you even call it a plane if it's Tic Tac technology? You don't need to have wings, do you? Unless it only works for a short period of time and then it goes away, but it's just like...
It's bullshit. And
yeah, I was about
to... From day one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
Yeah. At least who's been talking to Burleson because, well, I love Eric for what he's trying to do, what he's trying to bring forward, but he needs some better advisors. Where to stay clear of.
Our
he needs a better gym. He needs a better gym buddy.
Propulsion. They used it in the first iteration, which was the Tic Tac. They have an intermediary one that they are more advanced with, and then now they're putting it inside of what looks conventional, so that it's not obvious.
Disguise. Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying eventually the tech makes its way into things that we're already familiar with.
Well, right.
Well, I guess that's why they're hiding it, but it's just like if you can move 14,000 miles an hour or 56,000 miles an hour, Mike, you know what? You don't have to worry about hiding the craft because you're moving at a speed that's faster than the human eye could ever perceive. And only the best camera equipment could ever get. So if you've got something that can move in those properties, you don't really need to disguise anything, do you? Or am I missing something here?
No, you're right, because I believe the human eye can only see an object up to about, 1,000 miles an hour?
No, a couple thousand miles an hour at the most, somewhere in that range. Maybe 2,500, I'm thinking, is what came to mind. But either way, it's a lot slower than the 56,000 miles an hour than the Tic Tacs can go as.
Right. So it wouldn't be seen even if it flew directly above you at that rate of speed. Human eye couldn't see it.
Nope. Like the stuff we have recorded that was going on in Malta, right?
Right.
That stuff was moving between 12 to 14,000 miles per hour at all times, which means all the people who were watching, nobody could see anything. Only way if you recorded it, then you might be able to see something. if you're looking at the right place at the right time. Yep.
Right. That's right. Yeah. That's a good video.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the interim NASA chief, Sean Duffy, I just sent you another DM on X. There's an interesting story about him. Did you see this one earlier?
Yeah, I saw it. Let me go ahead and bring in the back, but I think I know this is the one. Oh, not that. Let me get over on
the
one
nuclear
there.
reactor on the moon.
Yeah. Let me get to that one. That is a good one, Mike. Thanks for bringing that up in our science news area exclusive. We haven't played that one in a while. I guess you know it's a breaking UFO news alert. Haven't had those in a while, but got to have fun with it. Where am I going to?
X.
No, I've got the video up. I'm just gonna need to get to it. So coming in from Sean Duffy will announce an expedited plan to build a nuclear reactor on the moon. His first major action as interim NASA administrator. So yeah, this is something new that came out today. Yeah, they want to get one of the first things coming from Politico is they want to go ahead and actually get a nuclear reactor for a base up on the moon. Because if you saw today, I believe even China came out yesterday and stated that based on what's available on the moon, they can create water, they can create what they need just from using the available moon dust that's up there, because apparently there's been a lot of water that's been deposited on the surface of the moon coming from our sun.
Right. So there are natural resources we can use up there.
Oh gosh,
so
yes.
why don't we put up a poll to the audience and ask them what they think about putting a nuclear reactor up on the moon and having a base up there.
Well, it's the core piece of technology for what we're going to get out there. And you know who actually gave the space agency the ability to go ahead and use nuclear power for both spacecraft and for bases like on the moon?
Who?
The 45th president of the United States at the same time that he created the Space Force.
So that was some forward thinking.
Yeah, it was. Because if you're going to create energy on the moon, it's either going to be solar, which will be inconsistent, or you need some kind of a small nuclear reactor to be up there. So you know what, Mike? It's a great idea because I think that's actually within the capabilities of our technology here in the United States at this date and time, based on all the different startups that I've seen, even from people who used to be engineers at SpaceX who left to create companies to go ahead and specifically create micronuclear reactors.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. All right, so let's go.
Let's put up a poll.
Let me. Start a poll. All right. All right, got it. Coming into this. Nuclear energy in space. Is it the next logical step? Or, let me get this noise out of the way. Or, is it a nuclear disaster waiting to happen? Because nothing ever goes right, at least with our government, other governments for that matter. So, Mike, I've got a survey. How would you vote on this one?
Oh, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Oh, Michael Sokoloff, I see you shared the list. How much is he charging for tickets?
Oh, let's start with general admission. Just got to scroll up here for a second. General admission. Where the hell is it? Oh, general admission, $931.49.
Yeah.
$466.
We'll get there. Here we go. So general admission is $931, and 49 cents. I guess we're interrupting this story to get back to Stephen Greer. Thank you very much, Michael Sokoloff, for bringing this to us. So here we go. General admission, $931. General admission for 25 and younger. Travel and accommodations, if you have to pay for them, if you know what I mean, are $466.77. But if you want VIP access, very important, can't say that word because it's censored. It includes a special party with Dr. Greer Friday evening after the lecture, attendance with preferred seatings to all the indoor lectures, as well as 2 nights under the stars with Dr. Greer and his team doing CE5.
It gets better.
Oh, God, yeah. As well as valet parking at the field and site and bus transportation. All VIP ticket holders will receive a special gift bag. Is it battery operated, remote control? I don't know. Recording will also be available for 2 months. Oh my God. You talking about ambassador access that's already been sold out? It's limited to a very small number of guests. Only so many voids to fill. There's a required prerequisite that guests have used the CEI 5 app and are familiar with the protocols. Admission includes the weekend conference at Wecopa. The dates are from September 16th to 18th, 2025. You get to enjoy a private dinner on Tuesday evening before going out under the stars with Dr. Greer and his team. There will be CE5 on Wednesday and Thursday evenings in a quiet setting with Dr. Greer and the team. No afternoon events.
Flares?
Huh?
Does it include flares?
I don't know. It could be. But hey, you know what? If you want to go virtually, like OnlyFans, it's only $103.49. All right.
But that cheap price, Thomas, doesn't sound like it would come with a jar of Vaseline and a rubber glove, which I think you get with the ambassador treatment.
Oh, Mike, they moved on from Vaseline these days. You've heard of silicone lube before, haven't you?
Yes.
Let's have fun with it. But, Mike, getting back to the reality of using nuclear energy in space, we've had this survey going for the last 3 minutes, which is 2 minutes longer. But I'm going to give the audience, okay, Google, set a timer for 20 seconds, please.
All right, 20 seconds. Starting.
Okay, audience, you got 20 seconds. We got 71 votes. Can we get to 90, please? There's some people watching. Happy Monday, my friends. Are we going to get any higher on this one? I don't think so. 7 seconds left. We haven't moved. I'm going to call it early. Mike, the audience does not agree with... I know we just got... we got more. Another one. All right. The votes are showing up at the very end. All right. Ended at 79 votes. We got 80 votes coming in. All right. Where did our audience take it, Mike? It's not where I thought it would belong. Nuclear energy in space. A nuclear disaster waiting to happen. 57% of our audience to 43% of our audience saying no. It's a next logical step. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I'm surprised at that.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Oh, yeah. Well, they make a valid point. I'll give them that.
Yeah. We got two people in the back with their hands raised, Michael Sokoloff and Freezerman. Michael, what say you?
I voted for the next logical step. I mean, we have nuclear subs.
Yeah.
Nuclear-powered subs, so why not?
And they're talking about using micronuclear reactors to go ahead and start powering all these different data centers for AI.
Yeah, well, if you need power, you go with what you got.
Absolutely. Limitless energy. Well, not really. You need to keep on putting radioactive fuel in there every so often, but if they can do it, why not? Freezerman, your hand is up. Go ahead.
I put down that it would be a nuclear disaster because Martin Landau's not here to be the base commander on the moon.
Who's Martin Landau?
Space 1999, buddy.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, I did have the Eagle 1 spacecraft as a kid.
Yeah, I love that show. It's good stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. Let me get back to the show here, Mike. We have more people with their hands up. Who is there? Let me take a look for the audience. Sergeant Daniel and then Nick. Sergeant Daniel, what say you?
Yeah, I can imagine, exploring, the moon and space and everything else. But what's the use of having a base on the moon? I mean, you can't stay there very long. I mean,
I know, but it's a great base to go from for additional, if you want to call it. If you want to get to Mars and everything, having a base on the moon will help us get to Mars and other planets, potentially. It also gives you an off-planet location to put a bunch of humans in case the Earth gets wiped out.
Oh, yeah, but you know what happened for the astronauts on the space, the space shuttle, whatever they call it, the space station, I'm sorry. They came back, they're almost invalid because all their muscles, deteriorated. So, I mean, once they get some kind of a way to manufacture gravity, I don't think they can stay up there very long, and I don't think any of us can go anywhere very long. That's my only point.
Yeah, good points, my friend. Nick, what say you?
Did you see that clip with Ross Colcott talking about Lockheed Martin? Did you see that?
Yeah. Ross is
said it,
all right.
Basically said that they have. You know what I'm talking about, Thomas?
Yeah, let me see if I've got this in my feed. And if I have it in my feed, then yes, I will play it. I might have actually captured something of Ross Coulthard talking. Okay, we got Rubio. Everyone can see what I've bookmarked. All right, so we've got an interesting video here from Northrop Grumman saying, we can't wait to share something we've been working on. Looks like something with a whole bunch of drones they're putting out, drone swarms. So if we thought that what was going on with Lockheed Martin was, and they made this cryptic announcement, it's coming in because of something with drone technology and drone swarm technology for that matter. All right. Are you talking about Ross Coulthard talking about Atlas? Nick?
No, I'm talking about the one you basically said that the new technology Lockheed Martin was working on. He kind of has an idea what the new technology is.
Oh, what Northrop Grumman is working on, and they put out the Lockheed Martin, right?
Yeah, Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, they've said Lockheed Martin just posted a $1.6 billion loss. My guess it's probably from the overall, the F-47 project, where they lost the project. So they put a lot of money into it, and they lost a lot of money. After their, if you want to call it, financials came out, and they recorded this huge loss, they came out with a new marketing campaign saying, we've created something magical. Well, you spent a lot of money on something that no government wanted to buy. You think it's magical, but show me the money. You lost a lot. It's a marketing ploy. They're a defense contractor.
I see the link. Thomas.
All right. Copy. Hold on. Copy link address. Let's go over into here.
You believe that...
Yeah, I think I didn't grab this one. So, audience, you got it. Thank you, Nick. Here we go. In an interview, they won't be back on what you've said earlier about, okay, let's play it.
The 2004 Tic Tac incident had Lockheed Martin at the helm. And it's interesting to see a congressman of the status of Representative Burleson, who, of course, is a member of the Transparency Oversight Committee, making these statements. I think we can all say, watch that space. I'm certainly interested to hear more. It's perhaps opportune also to point out that in their own corporate advertising, Lockheed Martin has indicated very recently that it has magical new technology in as yet unreleased aerospace prototypes. What is Lockheed Martin talking about? I think I know, but let's just wait and see. One of the risks for America is catastrophic disclosure. Maybe this is a good time for the President and the National Security Council, and indeed blue chip defense aerospace companies like Lockheed Martin Northrop Grumman to seriously think about coming clean with the American public. It doesn't require the secrets of that technology to be disclosed, but the mere fact that they exist is something that I think cannot justifiably be withheld from the knowledge of the public any longer.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
I had to bring out the hat. I had to bring out the hat, folks. I've had it up to here with Ross Coulthart at this point. You know, he's a great person. He talks about stuff, but we're just in a situation where I can't believe anything he's kicking out at this point, Mike. And what he's said in the past to what he's saying now, pure entertainment. Even the stuff he put out today about the frickin' Egyptian pyramids, showing some pictures where there's some broken off pieces, saying clearly there's proof that the Egyptians had non-gravitational technology.
Yeah, that's a very questionable statement to make.
Oh, hell no, Al.
Without any real proof.
No. You know what I actually would appreciate more? George Tsoukalos, because at this point we are beyond ancient aliens.
Good point, but Daryl Zernick has his hand up.
Daryl, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I was curious about this. Lockheed Martin did report $1 billion loss due to classified programs so far in 2025, and $2.6 billion, I think it was, or 2.6, let's call it $2 billion loss classified programs last year. So,
yeah.
I'm not saying Ross.
Well, you got to remember, they were in the bid for the F-47, right? So everything that if they put money into it beyond what the federal government gave them to go ahead and do it, and they were banking on it, that money is lost because that vehicle will never be produced.
Yeah, who knows what they say in their stock reports? It's all you know.
Oh, look, we've got you've got a $1 billion loss. What do you say? Wow, we've got magical stuff. Sometimes magic costs you $1 billion, I guess.
I want some magic.
Oh, yeah. You believe in magic.
Not for $2.6 billion, you don't.
The stockholders don't. They want to see money. Oh, my goodness, Mike. What a great show we've had
Well, that
today.
was an interesting point that Ross had made recently. And he said that about the stockholders. If any of these blue chip aerospace, military industrial complex companies that are contracted for the Department of Defense are in fact in possession of any truly groundbreaking technology, they are violating the law by not disclosing that to their stockholders.
Yeah.
Which is a valid point. I agree with that. So if they really are hiding something and they're not allowing their stockholders to profit from it, they're violating SEC trading rules and federal law.
Yeah.
They could be prosecuted or sued for that if it ever came out.
Yeah. That seems to happen, my friend. That seems to happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
On that note, my friends, I think we've about covered everything that's in the agenda tonight. Even we expanded out to some more stories. Is there anything new that's coming out on X right now on the top of our feed? Well, we got one thing. Let me bring it up. A dog. A dog snoring. You gotta have fun with it, Mike, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Well, we're serious about not being serious.
Oh, Mike, you should know this one, though, too. Little Goldens trying to get your attention. Again, who doesn't love puppies, my friend? Yeah. On that note. On that note. God, did we even get any super chats tonight? We did, and I wasn't paying attention. I want to thank Daryl Zernick for the first super chat we got tonight, but it's not showing up on my screen for some reason. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, I never tested it. Let's get to guest large. Oh, there it is. All right, let's turn this off and try again. First off, coming from Daryl Zurich, well, thank you, my friend, for joining us tonight. The Coin 405. If you're going to disclosure or testify, you should always set up a dead man switch system. Mike, we know about those to protect both of those and the information. This is something that George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell have talked about many times, isn't it, my friend?
It is, absolutely, Thomas.
Yeah. And that music is really loud, and I appreciate that. Mike, I want to thank you and everyone in the show, everyone in the audience for hanging out tonight with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
I would not have missed it. It was a fun conversation, a great show.
And if you've been watching our show for so long, you haven't subscribed yet, I think it's safe to ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it to help us get to the next level of disclosure tonight, my friend.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
And the cost of subscription is free, and we'll give you a double your money back guarantee.
You better believe, my friend. Well, Mike, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, but...
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you in a flip side. And everybody, talk to you soon. I'll come back now. Here, take care. Bye-bye. No. There's the button.